afternoon. My name is Captain Ernie Joseph of Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, and I'm here today at SVI doing the final inspection of our new Hazmat truck. It's really going online within the next month and a half. What we have here is we have a Supton cabin chassis, and we have an SVI box that was designed for us here. Specialty truck. Currently, this is going to be the largest truck in inventory in Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. Her overall length is going to be 46.5 foot long. Miami-Dade went with the big body because this is the first time that we've ever had a slide-out command module that you can see that's on this section of the box. We have a 10-foot slide-out command module that coincides with the cab, so we have a 4-station command module on top of the box that was designed for us specially. What we're looking at here, this is actually the slide out that we were speaking about on the command module. This will come out, it kicks out to approximately about here, and it gives us a working space inside the truck to do our operations for whatever incident we happen to be on. As we work our way down this side of the vehicle, this is what I like to refer to as our dirty side of the vehicle. This is going to be the side of the vehicle where all the day-to-day tools, hand tools, things that we use for our incidents are on this side of the vehicle. The other side of the vehicle that you'll see later on is the clean side of the vehicle. So what we got here is our first compartment here is going to be laid out for a lot of our heavy equipment, our chlorine kits, our dome cover kits, and our A, B, and C kits are going to go into this area here. As we move down through the side of the vehicle, we've got numerous spots for our SCBA air tanks that go in here. We have a total of 9 extra slots for our SCBA tanks assigned to this vehicle. On the pull-out trays, again, we're going to use our day-to-day operational tools that we use for our plugging, diking, damming, any kind of leaks that we have, any kind of mitigation that we have, whether it's a leak, offloading of a chemical, or cleanup of a chemical. So these 2 compartments are going to be designed and laid out for that. The good thing with these is both of these trays were designed with a heavy duty capability so that we have the heavier equipment, if need be, can go in here, and they slide out and come down to us so we're reaching up and we can get these out in an easy manner. Single-handed operation. That pull in and pull out. Back onto this tray. It's a transverse tray, so if we have equipment that we need that's all the way on the other side, we'll rotate all the way out so that we can get it here. Moving down the latter part of the truck, we have a built-in tool chest for all our hand tools that we need. These transitional trays here transition all the way out from both sides of the vehicle. So whatever we decide to put on here, if we need it, we can pull it out and have access to it on the other side. And again, this last compartment is the compartment that drops down for us. On these 2 pull-outs, will be mounted hand tool equipment for whatever we need to do for, whether it's, again, a leak or mitigation for stopping a leak. So our hand tools will be attached to here. Our Mustangs and or our beryllium tools that we use for when we're in an explosive environment. On the top you can see that we have the power cord reel, 150-foot power cord reel that'll come out. That also has our plug adapter that we can take out to the scene if we need to run equipment off of it. Okay, so what we're looking at here on the rear of our vehicle, of course we have the steps that lead us all the way up to the top side of the truck, where we have storage compartment space up there, what we like to call our coffin space. What we did with Miami-Dade is we did take and have a camera and a FLIR device mounted onto the truck that has a 40-foot scope. So that will elevate and give us a 40-foot, 360 view of a scene. It's the camera that coincides with our command module and our drone, and it will also give us the ability to look into tanks to see the level of chemical or fuel that may be in there that's leaking. So what we're going to do is, as you're walking up the stairs, we have a small compartment here that's going to be utilized for flares, cones, and to that extent, the next compartment that you see on top is nothing more than our basic ladders and our pipe poles. And we're going to go ahead and transition up to the top of the truck where you can see the coffin space. Okay, so what we have up here is we have what we like to call our coffin space. This is designed, and we're going to lay it out for the day-to-day stuff that we don't use all the time. Our DQE, our decon center, our flaring devices, probably some speedy dry, and our foams will all be kept up in here on this side of the truck. On the other side of the truck, in the coffin spaces as well for additional, and our airbag lifting kits. So our low pressure and our high pressure airbags will be stored up in here. To the front, we have our generator, our Kubota generator that powers the command module when we're stationary. She runs off with the diesel tank itself, so it's self-fed off our tank, and it can run for, I've been told, for hours at no end, with plenty of power to run the command module with no issues. To the front of that, we have our command lighting, articulating lighting that goes up, and it has a 360 spinning ratio where you can light up the whole area, as well as you have directional control over the lighting if whether you want lighting to one side or to the other side or both sides at the same time. And that's the top side of our truck. Alright, so on this side of the vehicle, this is what we in Miami-Dade like to refer to as our clean side of the vehicle. This is the side of the vehicle where we store and contain all of our dress-out equipment. Whether it's our simple day-to-day turnout gear and SCBAs or our chemical suits that we enter in for toxic environments. So our first compartment here, what you're looking at, will be utilized for our day-to-day our turnout gear, which also has our cascade, built-in cascade system, which allows us to run all our power devices, our air power devices, has a 150-foot reel that will go out, and we can control our air pressure here for our airbags, depending on we're doing a seal leak or a lift operation. The unique thing about Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, even though we're on hazmat, we are still assigned as firefighters and or paramedics. So we do carry our normal turnout gear, because there could be the possibility of us going into a fire. So our turnout gear will be here, where we have extra storage space here. That is that transverse that comes across, where we can put equipment, whether it's turnout or chemical suits. The additional air bottles for our SCBAs are contained here. We have another tray that drops down. This will be utilized for our level B suits, our entry suits, our cover boots, and our different types of gloves, depending on what environment we're in, whether it's a toxic or an explosive and or a cryogenic environment. So all those will go in here. The overflow for that will slide into this this drop down here. So these two compartments will be utilized for our dress out gear and equipment. Moving forward to the next compartment, as you saw from the other side, this is the other aspect of the other side of the transverse that comes all the way out here. Single hand operations, they slide out, they'll do a stop, another pull, and it comes all the way out. Good height where you can have your equipment here, where it's still at a level where it's not dangerous to move it around and get to. And again, another drop down tray for whatever we decide that we're going to use on it. I'm going to be honest, this is a much larger truck than I'm currently assigned in, so I have a lot of extra space that I still haven't figured out what I'm going to use it for, but I'll find a home for something. Just because we're our hazmat technician unit doesn't mean that we aren't assigned any other calls. We're actually divers as well. So in this compartment, it was designed for these slide outs to have our SCBA and our dive gear tanks mounted to these slide outs here. So we'll go 3 and 3, and then on these will be hand tools. Staying in the concept of the clean side, dirty side. Moving forward, this is our EMS compartment. As I said, we're all assigned as firefighter paramedics. We run as a BLS truck, but when the ALS trucks are out, we can run as an ALS truck. This compartment will be configured to house our med boxes, our hazmat tox boxes, our pediatric box, our life pack, our airway, and all our BLS equipment that we need for a medical call. Also in here is the command light control. This is the control module for the command mode. It has a lot of safety features that are built into it. Vehicle has to be stationary. Also has to be running off the generator power. And then the last is you have to actually activate it with a 2-finger push. So you're not actually activating it and having a mishap. Vehicle cannot be moved, can't be in motion, and has to be stopped. All that is done here, and you have a wonderful long cord that you can reach out, get away from the vehicle, and you can watch the operation as she rises. Great feature. Also in this compartment, as you can see, houses some of our fuses for the maintenance portion of the mechanical side of the things that the mechanics need. Also on this side of the truck, we have an awning that comes out. As I said, this is our clean side of the truck. So when we're making entry into a hazard environment, once we've created our interaction plan, whatever we know what we're dealing with, we'll come out here and brief our entry crews. In South Florida, having an awning and being able to dress out underneath the awning is a lifesaver. This awning is set to automatically come out once the vehicle is stationary. The controls are right here. Once you activate it, it's going to fully extend. It's approximately 5 to 6 feet that goes out. And being that in South Florida we have heavy winds, it's also designed for control that operates under the wind conditions. Moving forward, we have a simple compartment that's here. Probably what we'll use this for will be for our extinguishers, our dry chem, our water can, and our ABC extinguishers. We have one on this side of the vehicle and one on the other side. What we're standing in right now is actually the Sufton portion of the vehicle. This is the Sufton cab. We have it laid out for a 4-man crew. Currently, we have assigned 3 personnel to the crew. We have 2 workstations that are here, which will have 2 monitors with independent computer operations that also have the view from the cameras as well as our drones piped in. So a firefighter or myself could be sat in one of these seats doing operational research and studies here that projects up on the screens. Up here, all we have is really storage space for a library and or simple equipment, whether it's a TIC, whether it's additional resources. Here we have compartments that are designed for the guys' helmets, their fire helmet, and their entry helmet. So what we have here is our command module. This is designed to have 2 more positions that are here for the officer and or the firefighter to do research and to create our incident action plans. On the other side of the vehicle, we have 2 bins that were designed for all our instrumentation. Being on hazmat, a lot of the things that we do are dictated by the environments and the instrumentation that we use to see what we're in. So these 2 compartments here, as you see, will be set up with all our instrumentation, our different meters and our monitors and our cameras and whatever we have. And it was designed with the generator to run this whole compartment freely. And as you can see in these corners, we have 10 plugins on one and 10 plug-ons on the other. Going back to the module over here, the command portion module, we do have a refrigerator that we have, we ask to have them put in. We will be carrying medicines that might need to be stored and refrigerated. The desktop area that we see here, again, has power on top. We have power that's underneath for our PCs, and we have the 2 dedicated 5-cat lines. This truck has its own intranet, and it's going to have dedicated phone lines. The last thing that we have are compartment spaces that are above the command module. This will be utilized for our library of hard copy materials. We back up, everything is backed up on the computer, will be in a hard copy reference. The other added feature that was put on this truck is what we call a Bigfoot. The Bigfoot, because we have the slide out and you get lifts on the truck, is a device that was put on the truck to stabilize and equal out the truck. So while the slide out is fully extended, the Bigfoot will level the truck out. For closing it out, it's simple. Out and in. You push it in, you hold it. It comes in, as you see, it's got a light when she's on her way in. When it gets all the way stowed, there will be a light that indicates that she's stowed and it's safe to move the vehicle. If you are in an area that we couldn't extend, you still have adequate working space to do what you need to do in here. And the best thing about this for South Florida is I have a sole independent AC unit that blows wonderful cold air into the command module. Last final features on this truck, we went ahead and went with a winch that we have on the vehicle. If you want to step forward, you see that we have a winch that's built into the front bumper that will extend out. This gives us an option in some events where we may need to drag something out of an environment. With the steep well that we have, it also will stow the heavy chains and or the grappling hook that goes in here for the winch operation. The compartment itself activates on springs, easily open and close. The lighting that we had, we went with extra LED, very bright lighting that lights up the road when we're going to calls. We also have LED lighting on top if we needed to light up the front of the scene. And we also have, on this vehicle, we have a camera in the rear for the back of the vehicle, and we have a right view camera for the driver so they can see that side of the vehicle if he's making a right-handed turn. That's basically what we have, and can't wait to get her out on the streets of Dade County and put some miles on her.